Hi everyone, welcome back to my channel. They are some words I never thought I was going to say. I kind of thought I was like well and truly done with YouTube. I don't know why. I hadn't uploaded a video. I've not uploaded a video in like a good 18 months. And there was no particular reason for that. Life just been super busy. I started my business not long before I stopped doing YouTube, and that's 18 months old now and it's doing really well and I'm really lucky, but it just means I'm working like every hour under the sun and I've just not had any free time to do anything, let alone think about filming videos. But this morning I received a lovely message on Instagram from someone who said that my videos really helped her, and me talking about my infertility and miscarriage journey and then my subsequent pregnancy journey and all the anxiety that kind of caused really helped her and is really helping her now in her pregnancy. And I've been thinking about it for a little while. Secondary infertility is now something that is very major in our life, unfortunately, and I've been thinking about coming back and talking about it, and I wasn't sure, and that kind of gave me a little kick to just film a little video and take it from there and see kind of how I feel about it. So for those of you who don't know me and haven't watched my channel before, I thought I would just quickly introduce myself. I'm Becca, I'm now 29, I'm nearly 30, I'm 30 next month, which is crazy. I've got a 2.5-year-old little boy called Wilf. He is a rainbow baby, so I had 3 miscarriages before I had Wilf, and he's also a Clomid baby, so we use the fertility medication Clomid in order to have Wilf. So yeah, I have PCOS, which is where our fertility problems stem from. And after having Wilf, I'm going to try and keep this video quite matter of fact. It's quite an emotional subject, so I'm hoping I can kind of keep my shit together a little bit, but yeah, it is an emotional subject, so I'm just gonna kind of word vomit at you all and see what happens. But after having Wilf, so we had Wilf in September 2017, and we stopped using contraception. We just never went on contraception after having Wilf. So we were waiting for it to just happen, because when you've had one and you've struggled, everybody loves to tell you that their auntie, sister's cousin, girlfriend struggled to have her first baby and the second baby just came along like a month later without trying. That is what everybody tells you, and we were so excited for that to happen. We didn't go on any contraception. We were like, oh, just wait and see, we'll just let it happen, find out naturally, be totally different this time. Yeah, quite naive with it all. I've always had this, as I did before having Wilf, I always knew from a very young age, I just had this gut feeling that my big life struggle was going to be having children. I've always had that feeling, and I still had that feeling after having Wilf, but I think because you hear about it so much, I just got it into my head that that time round was going to be different. I really hoped it was going to be different. I couldn't think about putting myself through that again, and my infertility journey, I'm lucky it was relatively short. I think it took us about 2.5 years of trying to get pregnant with Wilf, maybe even a little bit less, and that was so hard. And it's so hard to then want a second when I know there's still people trying that were trying when I was trying for Wilf that haven't managed to have a baby yet, and I'm so conscious of not wanting to sound ungrateful. Like, I am so lucky to have Wilf. I know how lucky I am to have Wilf. He is an absolute light in my life and a light in my mum's life and Andrew's life and our whole family's life. Like, he really is, and I'm so lucky to have him. So it's so hard the second time round being conscious of that and not wanting to sound ungrateful for wanting more. I feel so guilty for wanting more. I wish I was done. I wish I felt done. I wish I I wish I didn't want more, because I hate feeling this way. Infertility and miscarriage completely changed me as a person. I didn't like the person I was before having Wilf at all. Well, that does, God's sake. I wasn't going to be emotional, but I really, really disliked myself before having Wilf. At the time, I don't think I acknowledged it, but looking back, I think that whole journey made me extremely depressed. I never saw anyone for it, I never took anything for it, but looking back, I was miserable, really miserable. And then I had Wilf, and it sounds cheesy, but I've said it before in previous videos, I vlogged until Wilf was about 10 months old. A light lifted, I felt like myself again, I felt like a different person. I felt like glimmers of the old me. It sounds so cheesy, but like glimmers of the old me coming back in. And now I can just feel that all ebbing away again. And I'm starting to dislike myself again. I'm feeling bitter, I'm feeling jealous. Not very much liking the person it's making me all over again, and I really, really never wanted to go back there. But some of us are just put on this journey, aren't we? And we just have to kind of deal with it. But yeah, I'm rambling anyway. So after having Wilf, we didn't go on any contraception, didn't use any contraception. We're just waiting for it to just happen. Time ticked on. It didn't just happen. After having Wilf, my PCOS symptoms got worse. I know a lot of people's improve after having a baby. Mine did not. My cycles were still extremely irregular, periods really painful, weight gain, hairy, horrible, moody, spotty, side effects that come along with it came back with a vengeance, and more so. And yeah, time ticked on, so it got to September just gone, so September 2019, we'd been trying, and when I say trying, I mean unprotected sex. It feels so weird to be talking like we had unprotected sex. It feels weird to be talking about that, but we weren't using really ovulation tests until about 18 months of trying. So I think we started ovulation tests maybe around this time last year. And if you've got PCOS, it's pretty pointless, as I'm sure you know. I don't know why I do it to myself. They're not very helpful if you've got PCOS. You get false hormone surges. It's impossible to track ovulation with them really if you've got PCOS, so I don't know why I wasted my time and money on them. But yeah, we did that until September 2019, so September just gone, when we realised, okay, well, it's clearly not happening for us. We'll try Clomid again. So yeah, if you've not seen my last Clomid video, I will post it in the description bar below. That's by far the most popular video I've ever done. It's got the most views, and yeah, I documented my whole Clomid cycle from the day I took the first pill until my positive pregnancy test, which obviously ended up being Wilf. And yeah, we decided we'd try Clomid again. I feel really naive and really stupid saying this, but that was always our backup plan. We got pregnant with Wilf the first time we tried Clomid, so it was our first Clomid cycle and we got pregnant with Wilf, and I hate myself for it, but I just thought that the same would happen again, and I wish I didn't, but I just thought it would happen. And if it didn't happen first time round, I thought, well, it'll happen second time round, third time round, fourth time round. I just assumed that that worked for us. It worked for us the first time, why wouldn't it work this time? But it hasn't worked for us this time. We've done 4 rounds of Clomid, I think it is. The first 2 my body responded to, so I ovulated exactly the same way I did when I got pregnant with Wilf. So I ovulated on the same days, and yeah, I thought, well, that's promising, it's obviously working, my body's responding to it. Just didn't get pregnant. And then the 3rd and the 4th cycle with Clomid, my body just stopped reacting to it altogether, didn't ovulate. seem to have all the horrible emotional side effects, which could just be the whole weight of the situation, full stop. Had all of that, but none of the pregnancy part. None of the ovulation for the second two. It just didn't work for us anymore. So now we're kind of in a bit of limbo. Obviously this whole coronavirus situation has struck in a massive way, and I know people who were scheduled in for fertility treatment that have had to have their cycles cancelled, IVF cycles cancelled. It's horrendous, like the whole situation is horrendous, and I'm just kind of in this what do we do next limbo. I mean, apart from anything, if you're obviously in the UK you'll know this, but if you're not in the UK, we have the NHS, so our National Health Service, which is free healthcare, and when you're trying for a baby for the first time and you don't get pregnant, and you hit a certain criteria, you're eligible for free fertility treatment. So to have WILF, we had Clomid, and that was all monitored, it was all funded, and this time, because we've got WILF, fertility treatment isn't funded for us anymore, which I understand. Like, people who don't have a baby yet I understand that they should get that priority, but it is hard to just be like, well, you've got one now, you're on your own, because is it criminal to want a sibling? I don't know. Like, I feel like most people do. I wish I was done. I can't tell you how much I wish I'd just had Wilf and felt done and that was it, but I don't. I would love a sibling for him, and I hope one day if we do have another one that I do feel done, because I can't go through this again. The thought of having to go through this again, I need to feel done. Yeah, so I don't really know where we go next. We don't really have savings. We can't afford, £10,000 for IVF. We're going to have to look into options and see what our options are, but at the moment we can't do that anyway because of everything that's going on in the world. It's just not, understandably, a priority right now. There is much bigger things going on in the world at the moment that our National Health Service have to understandably focus on. So yeah, I don't really know where we're going from here. I just thought I'd film a video and say, here we are again. 2.5 years of trying with no baby. Not too sure where to go from here. Do you want me to make videos on it? I don't know. I don't know what I'll have to talk about really. I'm using something called OvuSense at the moment, which they very kindly sent me the device to try, and I'm 2 months into using that. And obviously I've not got pregnant, but I am finding it really helpful for pinpointing ovulation. As I mentioned before, ovulation tests don't really work for people with PCOS because of false hormone surges, and they're not really your friend when you've got PCOS, but OvuSense I'm finding really helpful for pinpointing when I'm ovulating, and I'm going to continue using that until we figure out our next steps really. So yeah, I'm not really sure what else to say. I'd love to hear kind of where you guys are all at. What are your current situations? I hope that those of you that are watching that were struggling when I was struggling to have Wilf have managed to have your babies. I really hope, because I just keep feeling really selfish because I'm finding this all so hard, and then I just think it feels 2.5 years, it feels like a long time, but I've had Wilf in that time and he brings me so much joy. I've not found it as emotionally such like a pressure on me as I did the first time round, even though actually we've probably been trying longer now for number 2 than we did for Wilf. Having Wilf definitely eases some of the pressure. It's just, I feel like I'm rambling, but it's just like, is stupid things like you get an age gap in your head. I thought I'd be in the like hashtag 2 under 2 club. I thought that was going to be me, and I feel so stupid for thinking that was going to be me, because now I'll be lucky if we're 2 under 4. Like, he's 3 in September, and I'll be lucky if I manage to have another baby before the time I'm 4. And then I feel selfish for thinking that, because some people still haven't had one baby, and I just feel horrible for feeling crap about my situation too, because people would kill to be in my position. I do know that. It's just hard, because it's not, I feel like infertility in general is lonely. It's really lonely. It's hard to find people to talk about that, understand it. Obviously your friends and family try and understand, but I think unless you've been there, it's really, really hard to understand it. It's really lonely. The constant guilt of feeling ungrateful is overwhelming. The constant feeling of feeling like I'm being selfish for wanting more is really overwhelming. And yeah, I think working in the job I do doesn't help. Obviously I love what I do. Like, I make baby and children's clothes, handmade, for those of you that don't know, and I absolutely love what I do, but I mean, it's a constant reminder, isn't it? Constantly making baby clothes. It's not the best thing maybe to do mental health wise when you are struggling, but I love it at the same time. I don't know, but it is quite overwhelming sometimes. The whole Instagram mummy blogger thing is quite overwhelming, and quite exhausting. But yeah, I'm totally rambling now. I'm glad I've kept it together. Was a bit scared I was going to cry on you all, but I don't think I have. So yeah, I'm going to leave it there for this video, if I actually upload it. Do you want to see more videos? What do you want to see? Do you want me to talk more about secondary infertility? Are any of you in a similar position? Yeah, I don't know. I'm going to leave it at that. I hope you're all doing okay. I hope you're all staying as safe as you can in this very scary current climate. Yeah, I'm finding it a bit hard because, as you will all know, my mum has cancer. She's doing well. I've had quite a lot of you message me on Instagram to check she's okay, and she's doing all right. She's fine, but she is having to isolate alone for 12 weeks. And we see each other every day normally. She sees Wilf every day normally, so it's a massive adjustment. We've not seen her for, I think, about 2 weeks now, and it is a huge adjustment, and we're all finding it quite tough, but it's absolutely the best thing to try and keep her safe. She's extremely vulnerable in the very high risk category and has been told to isolate for 12 weeks. So yeah, that's what she's doing. That's a completely different story. Anyway, I hope you're all keeping as safe as you can, staying home where you can, and yeah, I will talk to you all soon. Hope you are well, and yeah, bye guys.